Alright, so white aggro is one of the better aggressive decks in the format. And a lot of people have been, like, usually the white aggro deck splashes a color. And a lot of people have been splashing blue for counterspells in the sideboard, Deputy of Detention, different things like that. But it seems crazy, in my opinion, to play these white aggro decks and not play Heroic Reinforcement. So we tried to shell close to this once before, where we're a base mono white aggro deck basically, but we've got two different splashes. So we have Heroic Reinforcements and Dovin in the main, and we've got these counter spells in the sideboard. So this is our only red card, this is our only blue card in the main, but the core is a one-drop white aggro deck. Occasionally, you get some clunky hands, a lot of Glacial Fortress and Clifftop Retreats. That's the main drawback to playing the double splash, but I feel like the power level that you gain from having access to Heroic Reinforcements offsets the occasional clunky draws you have from having a double splash. Dovin, it's funny, Dovin is basically, he's like bad History of Benalia, and it turns out bad History of Benalia is still like a very playable Magic card. Like, often just like comes down and makes 2 Thopters, that's like good enough. And some games he like ticks up a bunch and draws you a bunch of cards, that's also good. I think I'm not going to offer this trade just because I want to try and flip this. I think about Gruul aggro. I think Gruul is a really bad aggro deck in this format because it has a hard time beating the Wild Growth Walker decks that are about. I think if you want to play Gruul, I'd play it more as a mid-range deck, like a monster-style deck with ramps cards in it. And you can find my preferred Gruul monsters deck or ramp deck on my website, jeffhoagland.com. It's a decent hit. Well, they have a Sun Petal Grove. Interesting. Yeah, you can find lots of stuff that we played with on my website. We've played almost everything in this format at this point. Lots of great videos up there. Well, that's a good draw. Just gonna go ahead and pass here. Next turn I can Heroic Reinforcements and smash with the History of Benalia pump up. This is a night and this is a night, which means it's gonna everything's gonna get pumped by this, which is great. Yeah, these are both knights, so these both get powered up by History of Benalia. Deckmaster's broken. They're having server issues this morning. Yes, please, come at me. It's like their one good blocker here. Beep, beep. Meh, meh. Yeah, I agree. That attack is very aggressive. That was like their one thing that was going to get a free block on one of our 2/2s here. So at the end of this, I'm going to have 2 2/2s, 3 1/1s, and they're going to be at 9. I guess they're a little bit ahead here. They could pay 4 to save the Adanto Vanguard, I suppose. That leaves them at 5, which is, like, reasonable for us. Yeah, the blue-green Nexus deck just doesn't feel very good to play. It's a slow combo deck.
There's no accounting for that. Maybe yours will be more.
Wonder if they're a tokens deck. They have green, so I wonder if March of the Multitudes is something I need to be worried about. I'm trying to think, like, they look like just white aggro so far, and I'm trying to think, like, what green card are they possibly splashing in white aggro? Tristani? Yeah, that's interesting. It's a lot of mana, though. Yeah, those cards just don't seem good in white aggro, right?
Suffer, but I'll make an exception for you.
Let's Tribunal their Tribunal here. They want to trade 2 for 1 on this. I'm okay with that. Like, a favorite card in Magic in general, definitely Spellstutter Sprite. In Standard, probably Frilled Mystic. So if you're sensing a theme there. Definitely is. Alright, opposing aggressive deck. Baffling End is definitely great. Adanto Vanguard leaves a bit to be desired in these opposing aggro matches. Just paying 4 life is not a place we're going to be in a lot of the time. I think I just cut the 4 of those for Deputy of Detention plus 3 Baffling Ends. Do I want the 4th Conclave Tribunal? Might be a little bit slow on the draw. I'm just going to go ahead and run it like this, I think. Nah, Tocatli for Loxodon is pretty narrow, I think. I don't think Tocatli's better than any of the cards that are currently in my deck. The red's a very small red. The red's a very small splash. We only have 9 sources of it. So there's going to be a lot of games where we don't consistently have red mana early. So playing a card like Baffling End that's easier to cast consistently tends to be better than something like Lava Coil that we're often not going to be able to play on curve. Since I have double Baffling End, if I don't draw 1 or 2 mana spell next turn, I'm probably just Baffling Ending whatever they play. Baffling End also has the upside of being a permanent that sits in play, which is good for enabling things like the City's Blessing. This Tocatli Honor Guard's, like, not very scary, but I think I just want to use my mana this turn and, like, get something into play. Good morning, SCTR. Hope you're having a good one. Hey, Captain Fireblade, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate you shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. Welcome. Alright, I think I just get history going. Again, just kind of working our way up towards the City's Blessing on this. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I draw a land next turn, we'll be able to hit the City's Blessing. What's a bad matchup for Heroic? There really isn't. Heroic Reinforcements is just such an incredibly powerful card. I think I'm gonna go Dauntless Bodyguard, protect, I don't know, that, Baffling End or Marshal, and then Conclave Tribunal, one of your night tokens. Just, like, take as much of your pressure off the table as possible. So, like, we're super far ahead now, right? Like, Sand's like a Settler Wreckage, or we should be in a great spot, especially with these Marshals to follow up. The Simic Nexus deck was really bad. Continuing to show me that every deck that's not the Sultai Nexus deck feels mediocre. Yeah, I mean, this game here was a great example of why Baffling End over Seal Away. So Seal Away is a more reactive piece of removal because it can only exile tapped creatures. So if you're an aggro deck, you want to play Baffling End because Baffling End can take blockers out of the way, whereas Seal Away only takes away attackers, and not even attackers that have vigilance at that. So, like, imagine how this game plays out if these Baffling Ends had been Seal Aways. Be like night and day, basically. Sometimes these white aggro decks play like one settle on the board. Yeah, Honor Guard really doesn't hit. Honor Guard hits actual nothing in my deck. So, I think it's just literally just like a 1/3 for 2. So they're in a pretty bad spot regardless here. We had our history pop off. And then like next turn we're gonna play like the second Marshal and like continue to smash into them. Our creature is much bigger than theirs. You know, they don't really have good blocks here. Yeah, they're chump blocking the minimum amount to not die. Oh, Detention Sphere. Yeah, that's true. We do have one Deputy of Detention in our deck, so Tocatli does shut down that. It's a fair assessment. Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you don't have something better to bring it over Adanto, Adanto's really not good in this matchup. Hey, Dan Halen. I know there's a lot of great people you can ship your Twitch Prime to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way this month. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yeah, they're probably sitting here in the tank trying to figure out how they beat my board, and they definitely can't beat the second Marshal in my hand. Again, they need, like, land Settle Wreckage to, like, have a chance, and even then we can probably attack around that. With the second Marshal. Marshal. Okay. Gosh, could you imagine if I had heroic reinforcements here? Alright, so they could double block my first Marshal, but if they double block the first Marshal, they can only block 2 other things, which means they're dead. How are you doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're out in the world. Thanks for dropping by here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you enjoy Standard, Best of 3 Constructed, that's definitely the channel for you. As always, like to give a shout out to all my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support. They're quite literally the folks that keep me employed. Past my subs, I'd also like to give a quick shout out to a couple of my wonderful sponsors here. Quip provides wonderful, affordable, quality electric toothbrushes. And if you check out bit.ly/HoogleQuip, you'll get your first refill for them for free. They do refills on batteries, brush heads, and toothpaste every 3 months. In addition to that, if you sign in using your Twitch account when you use that link, you'll be able to bump a deck in my deck queue by 25 points if you check them out and pick up a brush. Hurley Burley Studio does professional Magic the Gathering altars. If you check out hurleyburleystudio.com, you can find an awesome portfolio of border extensions like these, as well as full art replacements. And using code Jeff10 at checkout, you can save 10% on your purchases there with them. Cardsphere.com will love to help you turn your cards into other cards directed to the players. There's no haggling, and they just take 1% fee off the top. And of course, InkedGaming.com will love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of custom artworks they have on their website. No, the Deckmaster extension is down this morning. It is broken. No. Large donations to play formats I don't usually play. I look for 100 usually. Yeah, Sand's great. Needs a third land, but we're on the draw and we've got a bunch of spells to play. Hey, Dan Halen. Thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. And Toasted Mino. I appreciate the 4 months. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks back this way again. This is definitely a good deck for the beep beep emote. Run them down. Perfect. Second 1-drop sounds great. Actually, do I even want to play a second 1-drop here? I think I'd actually rather Adanto Vanguard. There's a deck list on your screen via the Stream Decker widget. You can also type !deck in chat to get a direct link to the deck list. Alright, looks like Drakes, and they have a slowish start here, which is good for us. Ideally, I'd like to draw a land so we can stick Dovin next turn, but if we miss on the land, we can still play 2 1-drops. Perfect. Do I Dovin or do I Marshal? Dovin is 2 less power this turn. You might be able to argue that Dovin is wrong this turn because they have Spell Pierce up. Hey, Pekin, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Jeskai? Are they a control deck? Interesting. All right. Well, Dovin's much better against Jeskai control. It looked like, I guess they could still be Drakes. They could be. I've seen some Drakes decks splashing that card.
I don't enjoy seeing things so, but I'll make an exception for you.
Really glad we sequenced the way we did in the face of Deafening Clarion. Hey, Ashiok, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. Do I put them on Drakes? I think I put them on Drakes, right? I think I put them on Drakes. Yeah, I'm playing Snubhorn in this deck because it's very between History of Benalia and Dovin. Our deck's really good at hitting the City's Blessing. Yeah, I think Chart, of course, means I'm putting them on Drakes, which is even important Baffling Ends and Conclave Tribunals here. Actually, I guess Marshal's pretty bad in the face of their sweepers. Yeah, the Pierce are probably good. I think Negate is too much mana here. I think Pierce is probably worthwhile. I think I like this configuration. I think Charticore says Drake, so I agree with that assessment. Deputy is for creature matchups that don't have sweeper effects. This again's great. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am pounding on the door. Yeah, I think Baffling End's great in the Drakes matchup. So a lot of the Drakes decks have been pulling down a little bit, and they play like 4 Terramander and 4 of the 3-mana Drake. So while Baffling End misses Crackling Drake, it hits the other 8 threats. Real decks have curves, chat. That's a great pickup. Shivan Fire's interesting. I have no idea. Okay, Cobalt. People bump things all the time, so I don't make promises I can't keep. Sure. Wow, it's only a 2/4. That's so good for us. So, I think I just go land. I don't think we're going to be in a position to beat a Deafening Clarion this game, so let's just, like, beep beep and drive on in here. Yeah, if they have a Clarion, we're probably dead. Yeah, this block screams Clarion, which is unfortunate. We're so close to killing them. And the reason that block screams Clarion is because they could eat a 2/2 for free, so they gained 1 more health by doing this. Yeah, the tough part is, like, the Vanguards are going to hit me for 4 to stay alive, and the Crackling Drake's going to lifelink them here is the issue. So I get to keep this, but they're going to deal 4, gain 4 here, which probably means I end up on the wrong side of this this race. If we had another Heroic Reinforcements, we could run them down, potentially. Which is, again, why that card's just so excellent. Well, that was a great draw. So, I'm going to play Skymarcher here. I could play this other Adanto out, but I think I'd rather just attack with this than play Conclave Tribunal. So, if I play this, I have to tap this to Convoke this out. I'd rather hit for 3 this turn, I think. I also only have 8 life, so I can't protect both of these against the Sweeper anyways. You have a Teferi. Hey, what's going on, McBennett? Thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. For keeping me around. If they have a shock here, we're in trouble. They could, like, tuck the Adanto, shock the Skymarcher. Wow, they're drawing a card. That's bold. Alright, so they must have some kind of removal spell they can cast, right? It's a shame we didn't draw a blue source. This is our second match with this deck. I'm gonna go ahead and protect this. They are at 2. We have a couple of hard to kill things. If I play the Dauntless Bodyguard for the Skymarcher, chat, they just kill the Skymarcher in response. You're right. I didn't make a play to potentially induce a mistake from my opponent, but if my opponent's awake and not sleeping at their keyboard, it all ends up being the same, so it doesn't really matter. Ozar, thanks for the 10-month tier 2 resub. I appreciate that. Bump 4-color hero will do. Thanks for the support. Correct, yeah, that's true too. They also could have had Absorb pre-combat to, like, counter my spell and then not need a removal spell. So, like, it's basically an all-downside play to play the Dauntless Bodyguard, trying to induce a mistake, because Absorb could gain them 3 health and they're not dead on the attack anymore. So, this gives one Vanguard indestructible, the other Vanguard gives itself indestructible. Notice me with the Prime support. Thank you very much. I appreciate you shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. There's a lot of great people you can send those to making stuff on Twitch. Thanks for shipping them my way. Alright, I mean... Oh, they haven't used Teferi yet, right? Alright, the fact that I'm at 4 here means that, the fact that I'm at 4 here means I can't save the other one. So, our lack of blue mana...
Let's take it back.
Oh, that's interesting. Alright, so Heroic Reinforcements are out here. Heroic Reinforcements and Conclave Tribunal are both lethal. Yeah, good. Well played by the opponent. The lifelink on their Deafening Clarion really got us there. Take this next game on the play. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. I'm just gonna go ahead and run it back. Maybe Marshal's better than Snubhorn Sentry. Marshal does let Adanto Vanguard attack into Drakes, which is nice. Hey, Disc Jockey, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, we've played a few different black-white decks with aggressive slants. You can find everything that we've played on stream on my website. I think the last one we titled Black Orthop Aristocrats or Black-White Aristocrats or something like that. We played a black-white deck that was playing Spawn of Mayhem. That was really, really reasonable. Hey, Jason Fine D, thanks for shipping your Prime this way this month. I appreciate it. Welcome. All the 6 spells, all the 6 spell ones look good, right? This one unfortunately does not. Yikes. This is you know, sometimes the magic happens, right? Does Negate come in against black-green? I would think it doesn't, but I haven't played that archetype a whole lot. It's a good draw. We are now Jeskai control. Not really where we want to be in life. Hey, Clip C, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Dunk. As far as, like, starts on 5 cards hand go, this one isn't terrible, right? If we find our way into, like, a History of Benalia or some other stuff, we could be okay here. Like, this Clarion into the Spell Pierce is, like, great for us. Yeah, I play a Magic Online League every single morning to start the day. We play Magic Online 5 days a week. First things first. And all gets uploaded to the YouTube channel as always. So we played Temur Scapeshift this morning. We played 4-color Vanafear yesterday morning. So we kind of want to, like, draw land this turn and then, like, draw Heroic Reinforcements the following turn. Okay, step 1. Oh, that's a beating. Well, that's probably the match. I don't think we're going to be able to recover from them putting us down a card here and then drawing another card. If we'd have maybe not mulliganed to 5 this game and had 2 more cards, we could fight through this, but with... Well, we'll see. Maybe they don't have a sweep where we draw heroic reinforcements, but with this locks us out of playing more Conclave Tribunals. This one on my hand doesn't have a text box now. They have, like, you know, a bunch of spells in their hand, most likely. Yep. Baffling End does not exile either of the creatures they have in play. Yeah. Poor little deck, you tried. Just no lands on 7 and 6 sometimes. Just how it goes. Games like that, like, people keep asking me, like, are you gonna grind for top 8? And just, like, at the end of the day, like, you have to be able to play enough games to, like, balance out the heavy variance that you're gonna experience some amount of the time in Magic. I just don't think it's worthwhile. Vivian should probably be in most green mid-range decks. Well, they played Ixalan's Binding on our Tribunal worth noting. That wasn't Tribunal on Tribunal. Ixalan's Binding has extra text. If they had just played a Conclave Tribunal, we'd have been fine because we could have Tribunaled them right back. I say it's great. Super good when we're on the play. Just 1, 2, 3. Do do do. Do 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 do. I won't be 8 before the deadline, Derelict. No one is going to accidentally be in the top 8. The people who are in the top 8 are going to be people that are working hard to get there and stay there. Deal. So they get a 1/1 flyer, but I keep my 3/1, so like that's super worthwhile. Get to play this History of Benalia as a follow-up here. They no longer have a 2/1 that can trade with my Knight token. Hoping to draw an untapped line next turn so we could jam heroic reinforcements. You know, I'm actually going to wait a turn on this. I'm going to do this, down tick, and then I'm going to Conclave Tribunal off of these. Exile this, attack them for 3. Yeah, I'll be playing in the Twitch Rivals tournament next week. That's unfortunate. Kinda getting punished for my decision here. Hey, Otros, thanks for the 4 months in the tier 2 at that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Kinda punishing for not just jamming the heroic right away.
My inventions bring joy to me.
Beep beep. Twitch Rivals is a series of tournaments that the Twitch Esports channel does for different games that are popular here on Twitch. So it'll be a 48-player streamer tournament where there'll be 48 people who stream Magic on Twitch that will be participating. Which includes me. I stream some Magic here on Twitch every once in a while. So I'm gonna plus this. Next Wednesday is the Twitch Rivals tournament. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna smack them, flip this. This probably lets Dovin ultimate next turn, which is nice. Probably finds us another heroic reinforcement. Boyo! Checking in with the Prime. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Welcome. Yeah, Saffron Olive played the last one, too. So, just like we played against the other mono-white mirror match, I'm going to cut the 4 Adanto Vanguards and bring in 3 Baffling Ends and a Deputy of Detention. I don't think I want the last Tribunal. Get that. Let's just update that Rivals command there. It does show the streaks occasionally. Their whole system is weird. They changed systems, so like changing how things counted, and they messed up some in the middle. So it's supposed to count streaks and durations with Twitch Prime, but it hasn't been for everyone in general. All right, this is one of those hands that's a little bit awkward because we're playing these lands that come into play tap, but the spells in this hand are very good, so I think it's worth keeping. Obviously, I'd like to draw a basic plains here, but I think this hand's definitely a keep. Their start is very good, so the fact that I have a slow... Honestly, even if I had untapped lands, we'd probably be too slow here. What rank are we? 181? I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. I should block here because this way, if they want to save the Leonin Vanguard, they don't deal 2 to me. Esteban, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Your points fluctuate like a volatile stock market. They really do. Just comes with the territory. To be fair, there's a bunch of sub gifts on the channel right now. I currently have like a record number of sub gifts probably. Thanks to SCTR and others, there's like 1,300 sub gifts on the channel at the moment. I'm gonna double up here and then hope to draw a land and Deputy of Detention. They're 1/1s here, I think. Alright. Let's draw a 3rd land on the play. That's the plan. What do you hope they've... what do you mean by fixed, right, Kat? The only issue last time we had the Twitch Rivals tournament was that we didn't have best of 3 direct challenge mode, and we'll have that on starting tomorrow. I think this is fine. Mana's a little bit painful, but I have all my colors, so they're untapped. Does mana base feel greedy? How is the mana base greedy? Can you define that term? I feel like Magic players, that's like, greedy's like a Magic player buzzword. So like, what do you actually mean when you say this mana is greedy? In what way is it greedy? Because if you look at this mana base and you think it's greedy, your definition must be different than mine. So I need to like meet in the middle somewhere and communicate what you actually mean. I think I'm not going to offer this trade because I'd like to exile this. No, I don't think that's true. And like that last game as an like if you want to be anecdotal and use that last game as an example, we didn't lose that last game because our lands came into play 2-tapped. We lost that last game because we didn't have a third land. So even if you wanted to be anecdotal, like so no, I don't think this deck is greedy by most definitions of the word. I think the cards this deck is trying to play that are other colors tend to be pretty cheap or more expensive than the early plays. So like trying to play a red card on turn 4 is like not greedy. See, I don't think this deck really has a bad red matchup, so like I don't agree with your assessment that like it's bad because of the burn matchup. I'm actually not gonna attack with this because next turn these are gonna be 4/3s, right? Forgetting my first salt rope. What's going on, Project Swamp? Hope you're having a good Wednesday wherever you're at. Gosh, Deputy of Detention is so good in the mirror. There go my knight. This is definitely a reason to push with the knight last turn. No blocks. Take 6. I disagree with your assessment that Chain Whirler destroys most of our boards, especially post-board, when we get to replace, like, things like Adanto Vanguard with Tocatli Honor Guard. So, like, Tocatli Honor Guard is insulation against that, and it's just, like, good in general. Like, a lot of, we only have, like, 8 things that have 1 defense, and, like, they only have 4 Chain Whirlers. And we have things like Benalish Marshal, which are able to get our things out of range, too. Deputy of Detention's a real beating. Normally having history on the play in these games is really good. It's very possible that I want more Deputy of Detentions for the white mirror matches. Just because of how good it is at picking apart History of Benalia. Both the games we lost there definitely involved them picking apart our History of Benalia with Deputy of Detention. Leaving a 1/3 left over is pretty good too. Just doesn't do anything. Alright, got my 0-3 against their 2-1, God bless. I was really hoping to draw a 1 or 2 mana spell there, but it is what it is. They missed a land drop, so probably doesn't matter. Right on time, Adanto Vanguard.
Shoulders of giants on your impending failure. Clearly, the shortcomings here were mine.
You explain how one ladder works with 2 different reds. I'd encourage you to just look it up. No, I don't want to say something and be wrong. Rather than spread misinformation, I'd encourage you to Google it. Add your bits to Team or Climb will do, Project Swamp. That deck's great. Easy block. Oh. Tap the summoning sick ones. Attack for 4. We're ahead, but they have a bunch of spells. If they can somehow beat the board, they could be okay, but we are a lifelink token and like Legious Landing flipping next turn, we should be solidly ahead here. 1 mana, 3/3, also great. When you're far enough ahead in the aggro race to activate your Adanto Vanguard. Conservative here and attack in the air. If they don't have a removal spell, we'll probably see them sack the Footlight Fiend, so that way they can throw 1 damage at the Skymarcher here, I'd assume. Really? Yeah, I'm just gonna let the Adanto Vanguard die. I don't think we have the luxury of paying 4 for this again. Especially with having 5 in the air. Yep. So I only need to get them to 1 here. I believe they're just dead, right? This is gonna deal 1 to them at their upkeep. They might actually just be dead this turn even. Yeah, they block here, they block here, they block here, they take 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. They almost clawed back in there after their really medium start. It's definitely a Baffling End matchup. Honestly, the Adanto Vanguard is just like really batty in these aggro mirrors, so I think I want just Deputy and Baffling End over these. Doesn't seem unreasonable. Thank you, Boyo. I appreciate it. Thanks for dropping in. Is it possibly on the front page that make a deal with Twitch? I have no idea. I have no idea how the front page works. So I had a thing last month where we were on the front page every Monday, but apparently we've randomly been up on the front page past that, but it's like pseudo front page because it's not the giant boost that we got on Monday. I actually don't have any idea how it works. I sent my partner rep an email asking about it, but he hasn't responded yet. Ajani's for the grindy matchups, for the control and mid-range matchups where they're killing a lot of your stuff. Jeskai, Esper, Sultai, stuff like that. No, we were on the actual front page this morning for like a hot second. We were one of like, so like there's like 6 people up there and we were like 5 or 6 or something like that. But the channel is definitely up there. This card's so good in these aggro mirrors. This curve is great, by the way. We get to go this into tapped land, this into Dovin, into heroic reinforcements. Just like down tick Dovin, heroic reinforcements. It's a solid curve. I would like to block. Yeah, my Twitch stats show me, like, when you get views from the front page. There's definitely been a couple of days where we, like, had some small number of views from the front page.
I'm impressed. I don't think you would be so foolish as to face me, but I'll make an exception for you.
I'm not attacking just yet because I want to keep my permanents in place so I can work up towards the City's Blessing on the Snubhorn Sentry. We currently have 7 permanents in play, or 8 down to 6. So this will be 7, 8, 9 permanents, so we'll still be short of this next turn, but like them sacrificing that seems like a win for us.
Repeat it.
Yep. We're hoping to draw a 2 or 3 mana card this turn. Draw a land, so... I think I'm just going to go Legion's Landing into this tapped. And then next turn we'll go land Heroic Reinforcement Smash. It's going to deal a damage to both of us, which seems good for us. I'm not expecting a sweeper out of the opponent's deck, so I think we have time to just like pump the brakes here for a second. Ideally, we'll draw a 1 mana creature next turn, so we can go 1 mana creature into Reinforcement Smash with everything. If this attacks me, I expect we're going to see a second spawn come down. Deckmaster is having server issues this morning. Do I die on the backswing? They block this here. They take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Putting them to 5. And then next turn I would take 6, 12, 13, 14. I'm gaining 2 though. I think I just do this. This puts me in a spot where, like, if I draw another piece of removal, we'll be in a good spot, or heroic reinforcements or something like that. They also might be in a position where, like, they can only afford to attack with 1 spawn, depending on what else they have. So they're under 10, so the spawns get bigger. That's why I counted each spawn as dealing 6. It deals 1 during the upkeep, and then it attacks for 5. 8, still not dead. Just no attacks. There is so good for us. We are dead to a removal spell at this point. I think it depends on the deck that you're playing. I think auto-tapping does give away some things in some places, but there's a lot of places where it just doesn't matter, basically. Oh, this has Trample, right? Oh, I'm dead. They have Trample. I didn't have any way to play around that, and my attack wasn't lethal, because I could only attack for... I could only hit them for 2. Oh, my Thopter could block. Duh, the Thopter could block. You're right. You're right. Thopter could block, and I could go to 1. We're dead to any burn spell there, but I definitely could have blocked. I don't think I want anything else. I think I'm happy with the cards in my deck. I think it's a bit. You could maybe make an argument for the fourth Tribunal. Blue-green Climb's my favorite deck in Standard right now. That's probably the deck I'll be playing at the Twitch Rivals tournament next week on Wednesday. Yeah, it's fine. Like, not amazing, but fine. Nothing to write home about, but it has all of our colors in it. So there's a strict upgrade to Azorius aggro. No, I don't think so. I don't really log enough games with any deck to like tell you that it's a strict upgrade to an established good archetype. You're giving up some percentage points in terms of your mana and being a little bit clunky in order to... God, that's brutal. Yikes. In order to gain some power level from... Well, that was arguably the... Oh my god, I played the wrong... Oh no! Oh no! Why, Steam Vents? Why? This is my fault. This is my fault. I did this, chat. I deserve everything. I deserve all of the pain from this. Yikes! We would have had heroic reinforcements this turn. They should be way lower than they are. Alright, if we lose this game, it's definitely on me. Definitely could have played a white source on 2 and chose not to. Even had a different shock land that made white mana. Yikes. Huh. Do I exile the Freebooter and then Baffling End the Midnight Reaper? Or do I just Tribunal the Spawn? That's so lazy. It's so easy to write this off as you're giving up percentage points, but I just made a mistake. Don't write off your mistakes as being unlucky. That's just, you're never gonna get better at Magic if you do that. Baffling End can't exile the spawn because this does cost 3. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to just take this off the table. If I play this, I have the City's Blessing, right? Yeah, let's attack for 4. They want to trade both of these for this. I'm okay with that. Hey, the Doctor. Thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Might actually be in this game still, even though I punted pretty bad. Put myself a turn behind. If getting back this with their mana is one of the best things they can do here, that seems real good for me. Well, that's great. All right, driving in my car, beep beep. I can't. I genuinely just can't get over that people play this archetype without that. Maybe attacking with Marshal is wrong here. I don't know. They go block, block. They lose 2. They take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think they're going to 1 here. I believe they're going to 1 here. Yeah, there's one Steam Vent. We have 21 white sources in our deck. I think they're going to 1. Yeah, they're going to 1 off the Reaper triggers. They can, like, kill my Snubhorn Sentry, but then, like, I have 4 lethal attackers and a thing that makes a lethal attacker every turn. So, like, they draw a bunch of cards here, but they're not in a good spot. And, like, their Spawn of Mayhems are turned off now because they're at 1. Like, if you watched the Mardu Angels video yesterday, I talked a lot in that, when we were playing that deck, about the added clunkiness from splashing a 3rd color was not worth the power boost that we gained from doing so. And I think that is the opposite of true in this deck. I think the small amount of clunkiness we gain from adding a 3rd color to blue-white, white-blue aggro is worth it for the power level increase we get from having access to heroic reinforcements. All the 6 spell hands look so good, chat. Unfortunately, they are not. They are traps. Do not fall into them. Yeah, so like that's actually an interesting comment. I agree that splashing blue for Dovin is not worthwhile. However, we're not splashing blue for Dovin. We're splashing blue for Spell Pierce and Negate, and then we're saying to ourselves, since we are playing Negate and Spell Pierce anyways, we might as well play Dovin. So, I know that looks weird because Dovin's in the main deck and the counter spells are in the sideboard, but the draw to blue isn't Dovin, the draw to blue is the counter spells, and then once we have the counter spells, we might as well play Dovin. Oh, I do also think Dovin is fine, but I don't think he's fine to the point of being good enough to have a splash for. But I think once you're already in blue, you're interested in having Dovin. Our curve's pretty solid here, so we mulligan to 6, kept a 1-lander. That's powerful if we had another land. So if we curve 1, 2, 3 here, we should be able to run most things over. Looks like a control deck. This is a matchup where both Dovin, Heroic Reinforcements, and the counter spells are all great. Will not be surprised to lose Adanto Vanguard here. I guess depending on what their hand looks like, we could see History of Benalia go away. So, I really like, the way I've been thinking about Dovin in this list day is that Dovin is basically bad History of Benalia, and like bad History of Benalia is still like good enough to be worth playing. And the little bit of removal from Deputy of Detention is definitely reasonable in a lot of spots, but I feel like Dovin's the more powerful card, so I'd rather have a little bit more power. I've been a little bit middling on Deputy of Detention. Although I could see, that card was very good in the mirror match that we played, so I think if you're expecting a lot of mirrors, I could see that. But Dovin is definitely much better against things like green-black mid-range, the Sultai decks, as well as Esper Control. Some of these Esper decks have Cry of Canarium in the main deck, which is a little scary. So I'm going to go ahead and move to combat here before I play a land for the turn, because they might think they could kill something here to keep us from flipping this, to keep us from playing this, which would be ideal. If we get to flip this, I'm going to play this land and then just make 1/1s. If we don't get to flip this, I'm going to play this land and then play History of Benalia. Also, I think Dovin's better in this build with the red splash too, because in the just straight white-blue aggro deck, you don't really have anything meaningful to dig to with Dovin, whereas in this deck, you can dig to your heroic reinforcements, which is an incredibly powerful card to be able to find. So, we have better cards to be able to find with Dovin when we ultimate him as well. Dovin also curves nicely into Heroic, because you play like Dovin on 3, down tick, Dovin down tick again on 4, play Heroic on 4, attack with your Thopters right away. So like that curve is also very strong. So I could jam this in here, but I feel like there's a good, I guess I have to make a decision. I think if they had Kaya's Wrath, they would have played it last turn. If I play Marshal here and they counterspell it, it means I get to flip Legion's Landing, and the Adanto Firstborn is very good in this matchup. So I think I'm actually supposed to play this to get the counterspell so I can flip the Legion's Landing. I'm expecting this to not resolve, but I think if I don't play this pre-combat, my opponent's likely going to kill one of my attackers, which means I then don't get to flip this. So it feels a little bit bad getting that countered, but I think it's right because it flips the fort over. That being said, this is definitely one of those games where I don't think we can beat a Kaya's Wrath, so if they find one, we're probably dead. But if they don't have it, they're pretty dead here. So even if they like Vraska's Contempt here, they're going to go up to 7, take 6, go down to 11. And then I'm going to have 4 or 5 points of attack left over. And then we're kind of, if they take the full hit from this, we're getting into the can beat Kaya's Wrath range. Yeah, so like, the fact that they're down to 5 here means this first 4 might pull us through beating a Kaya's Wrath. I think playing a card like Swiftblade Vindicator to try and maximize Dovin is a good example of playing a kind of mediocre card to try and make your card that's good better. Yeah, Settle's pretty rare in this format. I don't think you ever play around Settle. I think you're gonna lose more games to dying to spot removal trying to play around Settle than you will win because you played around Settle. So, who's got 2 thumbs and is gonna concede to a Settle the Wreckage? This guy right here. Actually, that's not even true. Settle's gonna suck, but it's not even concession worthy at this point because they're at 5 and I have a Adanto plus a 2/1. Yeah, the question you have to ask yourself a lot of the time with regards to Settle is like, all right, do I actually win the game if I play around it and they end up having it? And the answer a lot of the time is no. This feels a little bit bad if they have an Absorb, but outside of Absorb, I'm pretty happy to jam this Dauntless Bodyguard in here. That saves my 2/2 from, the Dauntless Bodyguard means Kaya's Wrath no longer saves them. I'll have 3 power left over. So even if they Wrath us here, I'll save this and then make a 1/1. And then, like, again, one of the power levels of having the red cards in this deck is, even if they do somehow manage our board, we can just rip Heroic Reinforcements and kill them next turn. I assume they're dead with that. I assume that's like a concession chemisters. Yeah, people are talking about why Settles come down in popularity. Mono Blue is a big part of that reason. Mono Blue is a deck that Settle is an aggro deck that Settle's very bad against because Siren Stormtamer counter Settle the Wreckage. Alright, so Negates and Spell Pierces come in here. Ajani also comes in because his ultimate's very good and he brings things like Adanto Vanguard back from the dead that they have a hard time killing. Hey, what's going on, Justin C? Thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. I think I go ahead and I trim Snubhorn Sentry in this matchup just because with their spot removal spells, we have a hard time hitting the City's Blessing with this card. I don't think Deputy of Detention is worth bringing in here. I think I'd rather just leave 1 Snubhorn in. Just like a 13th 1-drop is probably fine. The Dovin Ajani curve is real good too. I agree with that. Another thing with Settle the Wreckage is often very telegraphed. Like, when your opponent passes the turn with like 5 or 6 cards in their hand and like doesn't make a play with 4 or 5 mana up, you're like, oh, they probably have Settle the Wreckage. They sideboard in Thief of Sanity. I'm not sure. I don't think even if they do, it's worth bringing in removal spells. They do usually board in Hostage Taker, which can be a little bit scary. But again, like, there's enough games where you just like don't draw those cards. I don't think it's worth having removal for them. Awesome, Simmerick. Yeah, the Black-White Angels deck is definitely my favorite card quality deck in the format. I think Snubhorn's just good in general because this deck is so good at hitting the City's Blessing. That's fine. Like, not amazing, but fine. It's hard to mulligan a hand that has, like, all my colors. Ideally, I'd like another 1 or 2 drop to play on 2, but just, like, the 1, 3, 4 curve here is, like, perfectly... Look at that. Look at that. Never didn't have it. 1, 2, 3, 4. White Weenie's pounding on the door. Just like we drew it up. And, like, this gives you so much recovery potential from sweepers, it's unreal. So, like, even if they cry me this turn, I'm gonna go, like, Marshal into heroic reinforcements, which is just an absurd curve. You can definitely cheer to get Memekin back in the queue. No lava. That deck was really sweet yesterday with Rick's Maddie, I agree. Oh, what was the one thing we could do to make this curve better? Draw that one. I'm not going to play the Clifftop Retreat because I don't want heroic reinforcements to be a card that's on their radar. Also, if you haven't curved history into heroic before, would highly recommend doing it at least once. It's real good. So, like, sure, they moment to craving me here, but, like, what's your best play against the aggro deck as the control? Like, usually turn 4 sweep their board. Like, turn 4 sweep my board. Like, not even very good here. Like, if they sweep my board this turn, next turn I'm gonna attack them for 7. Just like, oh, look, they binned Kaya's Wrath. Deal. Thank you for the biddies, no lava. I appreciate it. Alright, so what are we doing here? I have double heroic. Do I just like jam? I think I just jam, right? We are the question deck. Do you have your answer? You have negate or absorb. Beep beep. Settle me, baby. Settle me, baby. Even if they settle me here, I'll get enough lands to do this next turn, which is really funny. Like if they give us 5 basic planes. I agree that Carnage Tyrant's not amazing in that sideboard. I'm actually going to experiment cutting it for Frilled Mystic, I think, to have a better matchup against the Nexus decks. Can you believe people don't play heroic reinforcements in their white weenie deck? I just can't get over the fact that people register white weenie and don't have heroic reinforcements in it. Do we not have 5 basics? Maybe we don't. How many basics do we have? It's a good question. We only have 5 basics total. Fair. All right. I mean, if they kill my board and we draw a land, they still die. Oh, Teferi! That's totes adorbs.
Hurry.
That's totes adorbs. Meep, meep. All right, we can call that one 2-0 for the stream. I said the other day we were going to concede to people who were in the top 50, so they're 44. So I'm going to give it to them. I'm gonna count that as a W for the team, but I don't care about the rank. I just want to play meaningful games of Magic, so that's I'm gonna go ahead and pop into the next one here. It's not win trading. In a trade, you have to get something back. If me conceding to people who are in the top 50, those people aren't giving me anything. You can concede at any point and take nothing from your opponent. It's only a trade if you say, I'll concede to you if you give me this other thing in response. Me just saying I don't want anything, and I'm just, like, not beating people in the top 50, like... It's not just this. Can we talk about this hand? This hand is absurd. Basic Mountain. This hand's actually less good against Basic Mountain because it has 2 shocks in it. Jeff should get a tax deduction for it. If they have a Whirly Boy, it's possible I should go tapped land Dauntless Bodyguard here to play around Chain Whirler. But if they don't have Whirler, there's a lot of upside in playing Adanto Vanguard. I think I want to keep hammering this. This could definitely be a game where our color splash hurts our health total too much. They didn't Chain Whirler us last turn, so I'm not playing around it this turn. Deal. Dovin like made a 1/1 gain 3 here, so that seems like a good exchange for us.
Incorrect. Go ahead and float.
I dove in instead of history because I wanted to start buffering my health total. So I currently have 6, 7 permanents in play. So if I go history, Snubhorn, land, I hit the city's blessing. I really like Adanto Vanguard. I think it's super powerful and I wouldn't cut it. It might just be my bias from like how much this card's done for me last season, but I really like this card in this deck. So I'm gonna go to, I guess I'm gonna enter combat first here and see if they go to kill any of my stuff. Because flipping this actually means that I think I'm gonna let this trade just happen here. I don't think I can go to 8 here. I'd rather be at 12. With them only having 2 cards, I think going to 12 is a mistake. So I could do this into Snubhorn into land. I don't think it's worth shocking myself here to play the Dauntless Bodyguard this turn. Let's count the clock. So right next turn, I'm attacking for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they're still dead in 2, even if I don't play this turn. So I think there's no reason to shock and play that out. Gully Seagull, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciated that. Welcome, welcome. What deck is my favorite that'll be playing in the upcoming tournament? Either this one or Blue-Green Climb. Those are my two decks in the running. Yeah, the Deckmaster overlay is down this morning. Alright, so aggro matchup. Adanto Vanguard's very bad. Baffling End is good. Deputy is fine. Actually, Deputy's awkward with Tocatli, and I'd rather have Tocatli, so I'm going to go ahead and board her in. I think I trimmed Skymarcher Aspirant in this matchup just because it's not good against Chain Whirler, and they probably have copies of that. I'm going to go ahead and bring in a couple of Spell Pierces, I think. Trim a 3-drop, drag my curve down a little bit. Well, thanks for dropping in. I'm glad you enjoyed the YouTube stuff, and I appreciate you helping pay my bills, Gully. I think Dub's Spell Pierce is good here. The negates are mostly for the control and the combo matchups, so in these matches where we need to be more resource efficient, Spell Pierce tends to be a little bit better in my experience. Would trimming Heroic be a valid choice? Yeah, maybe that's the case. Maybe I trim one of these and leave the Marshal in. I like Heroic. I like Heroic as like a randomly win the race card, which is nice though, so I want to leave some of them in. Like, I think Heroic is better than Ajani, probably. Marshal also helps insulate our X1s against their Chain Whirlers as well, which is nice. The Epic Storm, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. This is fine. This hand's bad against Goblin Chain Whirler, but there's a lot of our hands that are bad against Chain Whirler. I think Tribunal's pretty good in this matchup. I'm leading on Legion's Landing here as opposed to the Dauntless Bodyguard, and this is intentional because I want to start gaining life as opposed to dealing more points of damage faster. You board in Ajani against mid-range and controlled decks. Ajani's really good against Sultai alongside Tocatli Honor Guard, because when they kill Tocatli, you really want to get it back. Not having a way to get rid of the Runaway Steamkin here is really bad for us. This card is aptly named and could very easily run away with the game. Yeah, taking their frenzy off the table is important. I don't think I want the fourth tribunal, but the first couple are good. Looking to draw Baffling End or Conclave Tribunal here for sure. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Gundog? I appreciate the 15 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. That was a good draw, but I think we're still behind here. We have a Vanisho here, plus a Wizard's Lightning, plus a Runaway Steamkin that's aptly named.
Are an anomaly not to be repeated.
I think this matchup's okay for our deck because we have efficient creatures that can provide a quick clock. We have a small number of removal spells to interact with things like the Runaway Steamkin. We have ways to gain life between our Legion's Landing and our what's it called, Dovin Bonds. So, like, obviously, we're not doing well in this game. We're like, we didn't draw any spells, but, you know, that's just Magic sometimes. Like, we call them good matchups. We don't call them 100% matchups. I'm conceding to people in the top 50 because people who are in the top 50 probably have a shot at grinding to top 8, and I don't really have a shot at grinding to top 8. So, rather than take points away from people that are trying to put in the hours, I'm just, like, not taking points away from them. I could die this turn. I don't, like, so there's a lot of people in chat right now who are, like, watching this game where we, like, literally haven't drawn spells for the most part. Like, this is our first spell we've drawn, second spell we've drawn, who are, like, trying to go through permutations of cards we need to make this matchup better. And I genuinely don't think this matchup needs cards to make it better. Even here, having not drawn a lot of spells, we're in a good spot. Like, the Adanto first board is flipped, and it's going to start blocking this 4/4 every turn, and, like, the rest of my board is very reasonable here. So, like, I'm going to block here, go to 8 potentially. Okay, turns out they had the good one. Got it? That's a good one to know about. Am I dead? Do you have the burn spell? Not quite, but almost. Evan, Fiery Cannonade, if Fiery Cannonade was a card on my radar, I definitely would have made a lifelinker and protected it, but Fiery Cannonade's not really a card on my radar in this matchup. That's not a card that I'm, like, playing around. No, and honestly, this whole conceding to things the top 8 really shows me how people view the world in such a jaded manner. Doing something nice for one person, chat, isn't, like, the same as being mean to everybody else. That's not how it works. When you donate money to a charity, you're not spitting in the face of every other charity you're not donating money to. You can do nice things for people. It's okay. The Weeb Army, thanks for checking out Quip. I hope you enjoy your toothbrush. Be sure to drop me a DM and let me know what deck you'd like to bump in the queue. I appreciate that. That was a close game. If we would have faded Reach for that turn, maybe we'd have been okay. Let's see, get to play game 3 on the play, which is good. Umbra, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people who can ship those Bezo bucks too. Thanks for sending it here. There is a finite amount of resources in the world. It's not. They're quite the same. How dare people do good things? It's so wild. Every time I've conceded to someone in the top 50, people keep calling it win trading, which it's not, and people telling me like I'm being mean to every player I'm not conceding to when I concede to someone. If you're someone in the top 50 of the ladder and you queue into me during the day, I'm gonna play our match out, but if I'm winning, I'm gonna concede to you. So feel free to not concede if you're about to die. Yeah, sweet. All right, well, I bottomed a land earlier, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us, because I'd really like to hit another one for next turn. Memekin iteration. Got it. We'll do Otros.
This is a rare occasion.
Thanks for the support.
Often wrong.
Sweet. So this will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm one short. One short of hitting my thing. I think I just do it to flip the Legion's landing over. I'm gonna feel real bad if I get Whirly Boy'd next turn. You know, I don't think I'm in a position to beat a Chain Whirler here though, so. Sure. Kind of in a bad spot here. Like, untap and play Chain Whirler, we're probably done for. They have a fiery cannonade. Gross. Do I just let this resolve? I think I just let this resolve. I think I'm okay with this trade. Deckmaster's down, chat. It's broken. It's not you, it's them. Removal spell, please. Heroic reinforcements, please. Huh. They have a 1-mana red spell here. I could get into trouble. I'm gonna go ahead and burn this spell Pierce. I think it's likely not gonna have text for much longer. I don't think I want a Dovin in plus. The Runaway Steamkin's likely just gonna kill Dovin on the backswing. So now the question is, do I want to play Dovin and down tick and then get him attacked? I don't think I do. I think I want to just Adanto this turn. So if we hit a removal spell here, I think we're actually ahead at the moment. So if I shock this in I can play Dovin and make a thing, right? Yeah. So we're gonna be pretty dead to a Chain Whirler, but outside of Chain Whirler, we're in like a pretty reasonable spot at the moment. Good morning, Anner. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a good middle of your week. Wow, that's pretty good. Dovin's probably going to gain a lot of life, I agree. I concur. Alright, you've killed him. Dovin's dead. Let's draw heroic reinforcements to kill them back.
But I accept defeat.
So, I get to activate this, attack with everything, flip the other Legion's landing here, so like, and then I get to make another token with that one. They're down to 4 now, and then they're actually dead on board if they draw a blank here, which means they're gonna draw Goblin Chain Whirler, of course. As someone who's read this book before, this is the part where Goblin Chain Whirler happens. God bless America, my country. 'Tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Bum 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 bum, bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. All right, they're dead to heroic reinforcements. Let's draw that one. I'm not blocking here because they're dead to heroic reinforcements. Why would you read such an unpleasant book? Oh, Magic's great. This Runaway Steam can attack seems bad here because it lets me go to 5, which means I'm not dead to this Phoenix next turn. It was just good TV. You're not wrong. All right, still dead to heroic reinforcements. Okay, all right. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Man, the first 4, that's a heck of a magic card. They have a lightning strike they're like gonna kill their Phoenix with here. Wow! Whoa! Man, we just cannot catch a break. Thanks for the 15 months, Sweet. Welcome back. Oof. The worst part about this whole thing is I don't even know what to get my opponent for Christmas. I'm not dead on this attack, right? I go block, chump, chump. I gain 2, go to 1, so I have 1 more draw at heroic reinforcements here. Gosh! 40, 18 cards. We had 1 earlier, I guess. There were only 2 more. Rats. That was a tight game of Magic. Good, clean back and forth. Good, clean back and forth. All right, let's play 1 more with this deck. In the words of the greatest poet of our generation, chat, sometimes you just gotta shake it off and move on to the next one. It's okay. Do 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 do. Had a horrible realization trying to grind the best of 3 ladder when I found out the only deck I could effectively climb with was Sultai. I'm trying with Sultai. We play 4 heroic reinforcements. There's a deck list on your screen. You can also type !deck in chat to get a direct link to the deck list. Games like that are a healthy reminder of Magic's got a lot of variance in it. Don't tie your self-worth to your Magic results. You're gonna end up very sad if that's the case. All right, if we can hit a red source in our next 2 draws, we can curve Dovin into heroic, which is awesome. Yep. Perfect. And we're gonna hold that for now, so heroic reinforcements isn't on the radar. Oh, I hope you're all right, AGH. We'll still be here for sure.
It's hard to be a genius surrounded by lesser minds.
Yeah, the blue-green climb deck's very good. My article on blue-green climb should be up on Full Step Pink by now, by the way. There were people waiting for that. I think I do this, and then I do this, then we just like beep beep. Hey, Scorch, thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good one. This might be a game where we come up a little bit short on the play here.
This is a rare occasion. I'm not often wrong.
Oh, there goes one of my tokens. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely a game where I can't beat a finality, so we're not playing around it. Don't play around cards you can't beat anyways, so we are just heading to the Space Jam and hoping everything works out for us here. I don't think we bring in Negate and Spell Pierce in this matchup. We'll double check when we look at the sideboard, but I think it's just Tocatli, Honor Guard, and Ajani. The plan to overcome something like Finality or like heroic reinforcements for burst damage or generating card advantage with Dovin. Dovin and Ajani. Baffling End comes in here usually too, yeah. I need to look at how the sideboard lines up. It's been a hot second since we played this matchup. Glad we played one more to get this one in at the end. Yeah, Baffling End on Graces is great. Taking Wild Growth Walker out is also pretty important in matchups like this, and like even if they kill your Baffling End, they don't get the Walker back, which is nice. I think Ethereal Absolution tends to leave a lot to be desired. There's a lot of good ways to kill enchantments that are main deckable in this format, and that type of card that's grindy tends to be better against control decks, but its effect isn't good against control because control doesn't have a lot of creatures. When you mouse over the bodyguard here, you see this really small red arrow. That's how you tell what it's tied to. It can be kind of difficult to see. All right, 1 heroic reinforcements, please. One heroic reinforcements, please. That is also pretty good. Alright, if we don't get Finality next turn, we're going to be in a great spot.
Constantly seek to innovate.
They can eat a 2-2 here with their 2-3, but I think that's okay for us, especially with Dovin plussing up. This block to me feels like we're going to get Finality next turn. I feel like if we're not getting Finality, they'd probably trade with a flyer. Yeah, not blocking with the hostage. Blocking the 3-2 Thought Seeker seems loose. They're taking 6 on this attack, down to 3, and then maybe Dovin plus First Port can pull us kicking and screaming through the Finality. If they do Finality us next turn, we might still be able to play through on the back of the First Fort, because the Finality is going to kill their mana creature, which is nice. They're at 2 here, and I'm going to have Dovin plus making 1/1s, which is great. And like the Dovin creatures being evasive is like A+ fantastic for us. They can't pressure Dovin with the Hostage Taker pre-finality because I have Benalish Marshal. Yeah, they put counters on the Hostage Taker. That's why they didn't trade with the 3/2. But this will just be a 4/5, and I'm going to be making tokens every turn. Like, I have this, plus the top of my deck. So, like, they're just going to be dead to Heroic Reinforcements off the top, even if they have Finality here. Which is, again, just one of the absurd reasons I love that card. Just, like, they have their best possible case scenario, and you're like, well, I have 4 cards, I just, like, draw them and they die anyways. Like, their best isn't good enough if we hit our best as well. No, I think if they finality here, I'm supposed to minus the Dovin. Are they just passing? What? They just have Vraska's Contempt here? They have Vraska's Contempt? What is this? What does this pass mean? They plan to, like, pop off Incubation Druid? That can't be it. They could have... If they have a cast down here, they could fart the Incubation Druid and then cast down my Marshal. Do I Tribunal the Druid? I think I'm supposed to Tribunal the Hostage Taker, right? And do I go up with Dovin or do I go down? Nah, Dream Eater's not a card I'm playing around here. I think I go up with Dovin, because that way he pops off next turn. And I'm definitely Conclave Tribunaling something. Moment of Craving plus Fart the Druid. I don't think that keeps them alive with the Conclave Tribunal, right? Because they'd go like, block this, moment this, and then they'd go to 4 and then they'd die from these. I guess they could jump block with one of these. Yeah, this is the white weenie list that's on my website. Yeah, I should make a token with Adanto first 4 because it's free. I'm gonna Conclave the Hostage Taker. They have 6 lands even if I get rid of the Druid, so I think I just take the Hostage Taker because it blocks without doing anything. They could just have multiple removal spells here, but I think Conclave Tribunal beats that. If they have, like, Vraska's plus cast down, maybe they're okay, but, like, if they're Vraska'sing my board, then Dovin maybe ults and finds Heroic Reinforcements to run them over with the following turn, and they're still trying to beat the Adanto in all of this. So I think we have them covered on a lot of angles here. Which is one of the reasons why I really love this deck, is because this deck has really powerful aggressive draws, but it also has turns like these where you're like, there's so much play and decisions in what I get to do this turn. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take the Incubation Druid, because if they have an Assassin's Trophy, I get slaughtered by this Hostage Taker. Okay. This is worse in this situation because it does mean that they have a 2/3 left over. That's unfortunate. So punish for not making a Thopter last turn. We had like 7 lethal draws there, Heroic Reinforcements in this. It's a tight game of Magic. I think I'm happy with the decisions I made. I think I'm happy. I think I'm happy with all my decisions except plussing the Dovin. I think plussing the Dovin was wrong. lot of good back and forth. Interesting choices otherwise. All right, I would love me some Tocatli Honor Guard. I would love me some Ajani. I would love me some Baffling Ends. What am I cutting in this matchup? Usually I cut Conclave Tribunal because it's both expensive and them getting their thing back after they kill it is generally bad for you. We cut Adanto Vanguard just because they have a lot of creatures that doesn't attack profitably into, and they're also often pressuring our health total, which makes it mediocre. Hey, thanks for the tier 2 re-up. I really appreciate that, Morgan. Be sure to drop me a message and let me know what you would like to bump up for that. I really appreciate the 7 months. I guess that's true. Plussing the Dovin is better in the face of finality, so maybe that's not a strict mistake. I agree with your assessment. Yeah, Dauntless Bodyguard's maybe the trim. I think that's fine. So the big problem with, there's a lot of cards here in my sideboard that could be okay. The problem is that, remember, for every card that I bring in that's reactive, I'm diluting my primary aggressive game plan. So I don't want to dilute my game plan so much that I can't actually attack them to death. So I think Baffling End's better than Conclave Tribunal, and I don't think I want more than 3 removal spells in this matchup is what it comes down to. So like Detention, Negate, Tribunal, like all of these cards could see play here, and I agree that they have meaningful text, but I think maybe you could argue cutting down to 12 1-drops is good, but your triple 1-drop starts are so powerful. I think I'm gonna run it like this. Maybe I'm supposed to trim the 14th 1-drop for a Deputy of Detention, just because it is good against Crisis. I'm also not 100% convinced that Deputy of Detention is better than my 4th Baffling End, because I do really like Baffling End in this matchup. I never talk in chat outside of these messages. Well, I appreciate you sending those messages, Robo-Reagan. Thanks for the 10 months and welcome back. Yeah, Baffling End does exile Crisis, one of the reasons why it's so good. It also gets rid of Wild Growth Walker permanently. See? Triple 1-drop start, just like we drew it up. All of our colors triple 1-drop start. Sneeper, Keeper. Yeah, that's true too. Deputy non-bows with Tocatli, and Tocatli's definitely more important than Deputy in this matchup. Yeah, I might swap the one Deputy for a Baffling End. I'm a big fan of Baffling End in this archetype. Are they not have a play? That's so good. And if they cry us next turn, they're only getting a 2-for-1, which seems good for me. Do you miss Loxodon in this build? Sometimes Loxodon is a good card. I don't know, like Loxodon would basically go in the... Loxodon would go in the, what's it called slot? The Dovin slot, and I'm pretty happy with Dovin most of the time. Dovin's got a lot of play to him. Dovin's also absurd in the red matchup, which is great. Loxodon's kind of mediocre there. So, like, do I think I land Dovin down tick? I guess if I Marshal, they can Finality me next turn is the issue. So I think I Marshal. Marshal and Ship is pretty good. Yeah, I think I just Marshal and Ship. It's so much damage. This is like an attack 4. It's an attack for 7. I guess it's an attack for 6 because this just bounces here. And like if they Finality me next turn, they lose both their... Like if they Finality me here, it's not even that good for them because they're trading 3 cards, their 2 mana creature and their Finality for 4 of mine. And then like if I play Dovin and like draw okay spells, we could be fine from there. Yeah, next turn we hit the City's Blessing, which is great. Yep, sure. Alright, less blessed than previously stated. 1 drop. Baffling End. This is 6, 7, 8, 9 permanent, so I'm 1 off of the City's Blessing here. I don't think I want to trade this for the Chupacabra when they're right on the cusp of flying. They should be able to hit flying next turn. Between the Dovin and the Baffling End and all that jazz. Can you believe people play this deck without this card? Can you believe people register this archetype without this card? Every time we play, I'm just like, I can't believe people register this archetype without this card. I just don't get it. I just don't understand. Like, even if they have Finality here, I untap and Baffling End their Incubation Druid and, like, have Dovin plus the top of my deck, and they're at 3. So, Finality's their best play here. Actually, that's not true. Cry of Canarium's their best play. Maybe. No, Cry's not good enough, because it leaves the Snubhorn Sentry around. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people have assumed that this is just too greedy, but I really think the small amount of inconsistency you gain from having 8 buddy lands that come into play tap sometimes is, like, far outweighed by the power level of heroic reinforcements. Math is for blockers. What's going on, Gazni? Thanks for the 11 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Shipping those Bezo bucks back this way again. If you haven't seen this deck before, this is our second time playing this deck. This is one of over a dozen standard decks that I think are awesome and powerful that you can find on my website. So if you haven't checked out my website before and you're looking for sweet best of 3 standard decks that have videos along with the deck list, every deck list up there has my preferred deck list along with a video of me playing it. So yeah, so Dovin, honestly, Dovin is just bad History of Benalia in this deck. And it turns out History of Benalia is such a busted card that bad History, still very playable. Getting to curve, turn 3, Dovin down tick History, it's just like attack for 8 is very good. And that's even before you consider that you probably played creatures on 1 and 2 as well. Yep. What else is in their hand that they tanked on that for so long? So, History of Benalia is lethal, or what's it called, is lethal? I'm gonna plus this for the turn and just take both their threats away. They could have Krasis, that's true. Krasis could be a card that they have in their hand. So they can Krasis for 4 here. If they Krasis for 4, we could be in trouble. Yep. Alright. Wow, I'm kind of surprised they didn't do this last turn if they had it. Did that scared of Dovin? Not having an Adanto first fort at this point probably means we're too far behind. These are the type of boards where, like, when we have Adanto, we can rebuild, but without it, we just don't really have a way to grind. Are there Wild Growth Walkers in their deck? What are the odds they're not playing Wild Growth Walker? They must be, right? They have Explore creatures. I just assume we haven't seen it yet. I wonder if they're playing Incubation Druid instead. Like, you have to cut something to fit Incubation Druid in, right? I'm gonna keep playing just in case we can see it. I might put the Adanto Vanguards back in on the play. And cut the Tocatlis. I'm pretty confident we can't win this game, but I want to see some more spells out of them. They do still have things like Hostage Taker and Ravenous Chupacabra, which, like, Tocatli does shut off. I could have sacked it in a response. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna leave the honor guards in rather than the vanguards, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna leave those in. Let's submit. keeping Ranger as a 2-1 is also fine. Martin uses list as no Wild Growth Walker. That's good to know. This is gonna be our last game / match with this deck. Ah, the lone steam vent rears its ugly head. I think Deputy just shouldn't be in my deck. Deputy just, like, doesn't work with Tocatli, which I think makes it bad. I mean, we kind of have a fine curve here. If we draw 2 more lands, I get to play Dovin and Heroic. If I get to curve Dovin into Heroic here, we're in a fine spot. Just gotta clear a path so I can keep attacking here. No, Deputy should probably be a 4th Baffling End. Yep. If we had a land or another Baffling End here, we could maybe stand this, but if we brick again, we're probably dead. Yeah, probably dead. As far as bricks go, second Heroic's not the worst. Maybe we have one more shot. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Double Heroic is so busted. Let's make them do their thing. So one thing I'd like to point out, people like to comment on the Steam Vents and the Benalish Marshal non-bow. A lot of the white weenie decks that play Marshal only play 21 lands for Marshal. This Steam Vents is my 22nd land. So my deck is playing more lands than most of these white weenie decks. So I have the same number of white sources in this deck as most of the other decks that are playing Marshal. So I don't actually have less white sources. So I added an additional land to help curve out to 4 and hit meet my splash requirements. I actually had an article go up today that was talking about, that talks about blue-green climb in general, as well as a lot of the different splash colors that you can do in it. I'm just gonna let Dovin die here. Am I? Nah, this thing's not popping off anytime soon. Stream Decker is working, Deck Master is not. So the interactive overlay is not working right now. If their hand is a bunch of air, we might have a real shot here. Double Heroic is really messed up. If we can dodge an Explorer creature, we can dodge a ball. They have a couple of Explorer creatures in the bin though. But one Explorer might be fine. It's like they'll go up to 16, they'll ship both at Dovin. I'll go Heroic Reinforcements, beep beep, hit them for 8-6 next turn. Then we like Heroic Reinforcements again the following turn. Oh, they think they're ahead. That's good. That's good. All right. All right. Yep, Dovin's dead.
Clearly, the shortcomings here were mine.
All right. Depends on, like I said, depends on how good their leftovers are. They played a lot of lands, so. They have like a Crisis we probably can't win, but if they're on some medium leftovers, we could maybe punch through here. Maybe. They could possibly have Finality here, too. Yeah, that's probably lights out. We played a pretty good game, considering, like, we kept a 2-lander on the play and, like, stumbled and died. Hey, thanks. I hurt myself. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So if I play this and then I do this, I would be attacking with 6. They would block 3. They'd go to 6, and I'd have a flipped Legion's Landing. Tongsgi, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. I think it's landing plus Marshal. Hope they have nothing. I think that's the best line to win here. Thanks for the 2nd month in a row, Tongzi. Okay. One Baffling End, please. They have a Find Finality here. If they have a Find, we're probably done. Okay. This is all I got. Is it good enough? You go to 4. Yeah, if they have a Find, it's almost certainly not good enough. But if they don't, maybe we're okay. Where's the 3rd reinforcements? I need help, please. And they keep mousing over their bin, making me think they have a Find Finality here. Yeah. They're gonna gain 3 more and they're killing one of my flyers. I could just put in. Just fumbled a little bit too long there. I think if we'd have hit the 3rd land like 1 turn sooner, the Dovins probably would have got under them. But bumbled around just a little bit too much there. Which that's like how this matchup tends to go, right? Like their deck's the mid-range control deck and we're the aggressive deck, so as the game goes long, they're a strong favorite to win. We both stumbled and didn't have Tocatli to slow down their value trade. Their ways to gain life. I think I was pretty happy with this. I don't think I changed anything after that session. I'll double check and make sure this is a list of... No, that's a lie. I would cut this and I'd play a 4th Baffling End. So I'll make sure that change happens on the list on my website. But other than that, really happy with the core. Like I said, I think the mana's good enough that like splashing a 1 red card on a 4-drop, like the power level you gain from having access to this card in this archetype is worth the small amounts of inconsistency you get from your mana being a little bit awkward on occasion. That was like 2 hours with that deck, so let's roll on to the next one here. Ooh. Hey, Mana Symbol. Thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back and helping me get realistic about my feelings about Modern. Yep. If you understand what it is going in, it's tough to be disappointed. You do lose some points in the aggro matches because of the shocks, but I think your aggro matchup tends to be fine with the deck. Dovin also gives you some points back because he gains you health. It's a little bit of a wash.